Hey guys, so today I want to talk about PayPal stock, and one of the main reasons that I actually want to look at this stock is because they ran up massively over the last week. You can see that they had a huge dip here along with the SPY and along with the market as a whole. However, they've run up from the 164 level all the way to 170, and even though we had some tough economic conditions last week and some bad news coming from the Fed and Powell, we still saw PayPal stock hold up against the day and essentially not break this 170 level. Although they were below it during the day, they had a very strong pullback here towards the end of the day, even when the rest of the market was continuously red. Now, I am recording this before after hours opens up in California, where I'm based in. However, you can see that they hadn't moved even on Fridays after hours. And what this means is that basically a lot of people aren't trading this stock after hours, or they aren't deciding whether or not the price is going to go up or down. Now, a lot of you may have seen other stocks that trade off news or trade off a lot of volatility going up or down in the after hours period. However, it looks like PayPal is not being a part of this group of stocks. And honestly, it doesn't mean too much about the stock. However, it can mean that PayPal is at a critical level and these trades are not going to be decided in the after hours period. Now, on Friday, since I did see them at a very critical price of 170, I actually went in and I bought a weekly contract. It only cost me around $18 to make the play. So honestly, it has more upside than it does downside. If I lose $18, well, I had a very good chance of catching the market downturn here that looks to be coming in the next week as a result of a second wave that we are seeing right now throughout the US and throughout Europe as well. So what I did go and buy was the PayPal 150 put. Even if this goes to 160, like I've told you guys before, these options contracts essentially play the probability of an event happening. So if it's more probable than it was 1 week ago that PayPal does hit the 150 range, then I will potentially be profiting off this contract. Now, one other thing I did want to show you guys is that I actually said that 170 was a critical level for PayPal. Now, how do I actually go ahead and find these critical levels? And how can we know for sure that this is a good time to come in on the stock, whether it's in the upside or the downside? Now, if we come over here, I use TradingView to decide a lot of my trades and to basically mark out these key levels in a stock. And you can see here that I have a couple of key levels marked out for PayPal. Now, how essentially do I find these key levels and how do I turn this graph of seemingly random candlesticks into something that can be interpreted to make profits in the short term or long term? Now, all of this depends specifically on your time frame. If I had the 1 minute time frame up here and each of these candles was 1 minute, I would be able to tell absolutely nothing from this graph. Now, that is the first mistake a lot of people make when it comes to swing trading or when it even comes to identifying trades in general. However, I like to put my chart on the daily time frame. Now, what this does is that it allows you to smooth out the bumps that happen throughout the day, such as the bump we saw here. Now, this would probably project as a flat candle instead of a candle that in the 1 minute goes down, up, down, up, down, up, and doesn't show us any sort of clear direction on the day. Now, I want to zoom in on this part here because this is essentially what we are analyzing in order to decide where the stock is going to go next. Now, you can see that the last time that it hit a key level is where there is a large group of candles grouped up and there was a clear top and bottom. So you can see that all of the big bodies of the candles ran down to this level here, to the 152 level, and came up all the way to the 160 level. And the immediate day after the next candle broke the level, we started having the run up that we're seeing with the recent times and PayPal. And essentially, what you can do is you can see this and see, okay, well, it looks like they were able to break out on Friday of this level. However, it is a red candle. So they had broken out, but then immediately pulled back. So I would take this as an indication that they're having weakness at this level because as you can see, they've already tested it once or twice. And over here, when they did test it, they only tested it on a single day, then came down and on the second day. However, in this chart in this pattern over here, you can see that they've had a lot of engulfing candles downwards. And instead of testing once and then coming back to the bottom of the range, they've actually tested multiple times in a short period and haven't been able to break. And what this means for a stock in general is that it is going to be having weakness coming in the short term here. Now, additionally, you can see that the MACD, which is an indicator of momentum, is about to flip to the negative direction. And additionally, the RSI, which is an indicator of the relative strength or how oversold or how overbought a stock is saying that this stock is extremely overbought in the short run here. You can see that we're trading all the way at the top of the RSI around 70, and some people do set it for 80. However, I don't like to wait that long because, as you can see, I could have missed out potentially on this trade. It wouldn't have notified me. And now I'm able to come in on this trade. And if they do have a lot of downside this week, I could see them coming down to their 164 range here and even the 160 level potentially if they are able to break through and come back to the lows of this last 2 weeks or so. However, if we do look at the weekly chart here, which is my second favorite chart to look at, we can analyze long-term ranges and long-term price strength. And you can see that PayPal is a stock that essentially has been having some incredible price strength here in the last few weeks. Now, the way to know if a stock is continuing to run up is whether or not the last candle, their bottom, or sorry, their top is below the next bottom of the next candle. So what I mean by that is you can see that the top of this candle is below the next one, the top of this one is below the next one, the top of this one is below the next one. Even though it was a red candle, sometimes there are periods of consolidation, and that's why we do want to look at the weekly trend here to know whether or not the pattern has been broken in the long run. Now, another candle comes, then another, then another, then another, and you can see that they're actually, even though there was the period of consolidation here, like I was showing you guys on the 1 day chart, all these candles were green and continued pushing up the price even higher and into last week where we saw there's new highs at around $170 here. Now, PayPal is a company that in the long run, I would not short. I feel that they have a lot of potential, a lot of customers, and a lot more people potentially using the app as a result of being at home and of the economic downturn we're seeing, and more people leaning into these money services, money sending and receiving services than usual with all the online business and online shopping going on in the recent times. Now, what I would say is that in the short term, they probably will follow the market as a whole. And right now, the market is showing a whole lot of weakness. And as a result, that's why I think that PayPal will be pulling back here a little bit in the short run. Now, I do see them opening Monday a little bit green. However, watch for Monday halfway throughout the day and whether or not they're going to be able to have another one of these green candles. You can see that they had that pattern of the green candles, one, 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 one. Then immediately the next red cut off their cycle, and even though they did continue up, it was a lot more weakness than in previously where they were able to have multiple candles in a row that were green and above the last candle, which ultimately shows a very, very strong price direction. Now in the last few days, they're having a very, very weak price direction, and even to the point where this last candle came below what the previous day's candle was showing. So yeah, if we see another candle tomorrow that is potentially below this 170 mark and they are able to hold and maybe close around here for the day at around 167, then I would say look for a lot of weakness coming from this stock potentially into the next week and even into the next few weeks as they pull back here from their price highs. Or now if we do see a rip above this level of around the 175 level and the market is able to recover as a whole, then I would say that PayPal is a potentially stock that could run all the way to around 200 or $210. However, none of this is for sure as this is the first time that they're ever breaking these price levels. And this sort of momentum on the stock is actually incredible to see that as they've run up around $100 in only a month or so. Now, in case you're wondering, the platform I'm using right now is tradingview.com. And they do have a referral link, which I think I will leave in the description if I'm able to get my hands on it. And yeah, guys, sign up with my link if you like what you're seeing here. This is the platform that I use for all my professional analysis and for all my analysis like this into the future and to analyze price strength and weakness, etc. So yeah, if you like what you're seeing here, and essentially, guys, let me know in the comments if you want to see more in-depth analysis like this and more price level analysis like what we're seeing with this PayPal stock here. Additionally, this is the first time I'm recording a video to upload into the future as a scheduled upload. So I'm actually recording this at 12 in the night, my time, and futures will open around 1. So we'll see how that affects PayPal. However, I feel that this analysis will be very, very strong coming into tomorrow and hopefully help you guys catch a very, very strong run on the stock, potentially at the beginning of the day instead of at 1 or 2 when I usually upload my videos, as I'm trading throughout the day and don't have time to record. So, yeah, guys, just let me know what you think of the new format, if you like it or not. I'm actually very excited.